I was left in an emergency room screaming in agony and active labor for 7 hours, and 3 days later my baby died. Let's talk about it. Yeah, where have I been? Some stuff has happened. First of all, I want to preface it with saying I didn't know that I was pregnant. It's something called a cryptic pregnancy, and I didn't really have any symptoms, so the last 9 months was a complete shock to me. I really didn't believe that this was the thing that was possible. Turns out it is very real. The night of September 7th, 2025, just very recently, I went to the emergency room because I knew I was dying. I wish I was exaggerating, but I had something called severe preeclampsia and a raging infection, causing me to shut down and was killing my child. And none of this was helped by the fact that I didn't know any of this was going on. But I would almost take it back calling for an ambulance, simply because of what I went through when I was there, when I made it to the emergency room. I'm not an idiot. I know that emergency rooms have long waits, but not for these kinds of situations. And when you have someone screaming in pain and soiling herself for hours on end, something went wrong. And at the very end of it, when the child is dead, something went very, very, very wrong. I'm not the same person I was when I left you guys. I have a lot of anger over what happened, but I don't have enough friends in this world to talk about it anywhere else, so we're going to talk about what I went through here. I'm going to have to do it in parts because a lot happened, and I don't have the mental capacity to go through it all in one sitting. But we're going to start with the night that I went into the emergency room because that's the most important part. So the Sunday before this happened, I was at my job. I work a very labor-intensive job. I'm pretty sure a lot of you already know that. If you figured out from my outfits in previous videos where I work, it's kind of obvious to figure that out. So I worked my shift. I did truck is what we call it, and I was putting away about 8 pallets of produce that morning, and by the afternoon my water broke. I just didn't know what that was. I called my friend, who is also my coworker, to come get me because I couldn't get out of the bathroom at my job. I had gone to the bathroom and it was like Niagara Falls happened, and it was all over me and it was all over the toilet, and I ruined my jeans, and I couldn't work like that. I wasn't in any pain. I just was, oh no, I soiled myself. I can't work like this. I need to go home. Except what I didn't know is, like, I wasn't walking like a normal person anymore. I was doing this very stretched out waddle. I have the security camera footage of it. It was insane. I could not stand up straight. I was using a shopping cart to lean on as I tried to make it to the door. But at this point, I just thought I was very tired. I thought I was just achy. I thought I worked myself too hard. I was having trouble going to the bathroom the last few days, and I thought just something, I must be getting run down. So I went home. The first 24 hours after I was home, I just slept. I really felt foggy. I didn't feel like myself. I felt like I couldn't put a coherent thought together. And all I knew was I was so tired. Then something started to change in the last 24 hours before I went to the hospital. I started to think it was that I couldn't go to the restroom. Because honestly, I didn't know at the time that the contraction and labor pains, I just felt like I was straining to use the restroom. I was taking showers. I was sitting in different chairs in the rooms that was in my house, and the pain would stop and then it would start up again. And I could not put 2 and 2 together what was happening. If you have no reason to actually believe you're pregnant, that's not the first thing you think of for the symptoms. I just thought something, bowel obstruction. I don't know. I did not think this is what was going on. Then my fiance came home. He said, "You're still in bed. You're still like this. If you're not better by morning, I'm calling an ambulance." And I just didn't believe him. I didn't believe me. I didn't believe what was happening. But about an hour later, the pain was so bad and I was so scared. I said, it's time. I need you to call an ambulance. And he did. And by the time they got there, I was already starting to forget things that were happening. The waves of consciousness were coming and going. I remember that I started out not wearing any pants because I was soiling all of them. What was the point? So the ambulance guys had to get pants on me, which was mortifying. In the ambulance, they gave me fentanyl twice because they didn't know what to do for the pain because I could not stop screaming. And they asked me if I was pregnant, and I said, I don't think so. It's all about I remember of the ambulance ride. I don't remember how I got into the emergency room, and to this day I kind of wish I didn't go. And now we've arrived at the emergency room, where the real nightmare is about to begin.